passed from Sumerian to Persian. Na or nay, which also means reed, is the oldest name of this instrument. In Arabic, the word mizmar, which was used for almost all of the wind instruments, was used for ney, as well. In Turkish, it has always been called ney. It was named with similar words in certain European countries. From Persian word zidin, which means player, performer, derived the word nazidin and changed into the word we use today nazan and the meaning of ney player. Formed according to the rules of Arabic, the word ney has also been used in the same meaning. Ney is believed to be used since 5000 BCE in Sumerian society. Today the oldest finding we have about this instrument is the ney, which dates back to BCE 2800 to 3000 and is exhibited in the University of Philadelphia Museum in America. The instrument is thought to have been used in religious ceremonies in those periods, too. The sound of the ney has always affected people deeply and associated religious feelings. Thibaut, one of the clergymen of Assumption, described the sound of the ney as a mysterious, mesmerizing, sweet and harmonic sound in his poem. The wing flaps of a sweet breeze afraid to awaken the birds, while passing over the reeds. The feature of its sound has made ney an important instrument in every society it has been used. Ney, which has been used by Turks since the acceptance of Islam, has been the symbol of Islam Sufism since the 13th century. Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi, the great Sufi, philosopher, poet and ballis, who lived in this century, played an influential role in this. In the Book of Travels of an explorer and scholar in 15th century, Ghiyaseddin Nakaz, tells what he saw in the palace of the Khan of Hittite Turks, who are also known to have developed and used original musical notes. About 300,000 people gathered in front of the palace of the Khan in the city of Sidinfu. About 2,000 musicians tuned their instruments and prayed for the Khan. At the two sides of the kettle drums sat the singers with kamancha, ney, musiker and other instruments. Some of the Nazans played the ney the way we know, while some others played by blowing through the holes in the middle. We understand that Hittite Turks, who are known to have advanced in music, used ney in Middle Asia since the older times and played it horizontally, just like a transverse flute. Although we do not know their features exactly, there have been a lot of instruments in history whose names were derived from ney, such as ney Turkey, hoz ney, kanay. However, we assume that the forms of these instruments are very different from that of today. Ney is the only woodwind of Turkish classical music and the head instrument of Turkish Sufi music. Together with bender, it has been the only permitted musical instrument in the tekka music. The Mevlevi ceremonies are performed with the accompaniment of neys and kudums. If available, there is one from other instruments. Ney is one of the instruments whose sound is closest to human voice. It gives a chance to perform all kinds of musical motifs. All the sounds in its 3-octave capacity can be performed in comas by changing the intensity of breath or the angle between mouth and bespare. A mouthpiece called bespare is attached on the top hole in order to obtain a clearer sound and to prevent the lips from being hurt. Though bespare is usually made of water buffalo horn, it can also be made of ivory, delrin, fiber, Teflon, hardwood such as ebony or boxwood or similar materials. Water buffalo horn, which is used commonly in ney-making tradition, is now very hard to find as the species is about to become extinct. If the animals are killed when they are too young, their horns are empty, and because these horns are useless to make bespare, search for other materials have become inevitable. Today, various materials are used for making bespare. In my opinion, the most similar material to water buffalo horn is delrin. The reason why this material is functional is that it has a solid fiber. When polished well, it does not produce bacteria on it, and it is not affected from minor falls or hits. Size of the opening that contacts lips, inner depth and outer diameter or a bespare can change according to Nazan's demands and habits. In my opinion, the optimum bespare measures are: the rings made of various metals and tightly attached around the upper and lower end of a ney in order to prevent cracking are called Paris vein. It can be made of gold, silver, copper, etc., but metals such as silver or copper oxidized, so they should be isolated from air. The upper pairs vein attached around the upper end of the nail should not be thicker than 0.40 mm and wider than 14 mm. The lower pairs vein can be as thick and wide as desired. Nail is made of yellow-colored, hard and thick fiber reed. There are different breeds of this cane that grow in warm climatic zones and wetlands with high bottom water. The most preferred breed is reeds, which grow on the banks of the Aci River and Samandog in Hatay. Nailic reed must necessarily have 9 knuckles, and the knuckle spacing and thickness should be as close to each other as possible. The knuckles of the cane in nature naturally shorten in length from root to tip and narrow in diameter. It should be preferred that this shortening and contraction be as little by little as possible. In nature, the reed is located upwards from the ground upwards. Since the reed wall thickness of the knuckles close to the ground is very high, these parts are not used in nail construction. The parts where the nail is made are usually located in the middle part of the cane. Reeds that can be made should be cut in the fall, in October, November, December according to the air temperature. The tassel slider should never be cut, as the scalp has not turned yellow, the petiole has not dried, the reeds have not yet matured. Reeds cut earlier than October will wrinkle after a short time, as they do not complete the ripening process. In addition, the cavalier, which covers the outer surface of the cane and protects the cane, attains the desired property only at the end of the ripening process. We cut the nail wood we have chosen with whipsaw. The inner part of the board is carved in the planer in a semicircle. We combine it into 2 parts. Now we get a complete round. We glue our wood, which is 2 pieces, with wood glue. After gluing, the wood left to dry for a while is attached to the wood lathe to be processed the next day. It is shaped with the help of knives and sanding on the lathe. After the excess edges are removed with a knife, we can proceed to the construction of pairs veins. Alpaca silver brackets are soldered according to the size of the nail wood. After firmly placing it in the wood, the polishing process begins. With the help of special felt and putty, the pairs vein is polished. Then the holes are cauterized with a special stone drill according to the nail dimensions. Materials are prepared for Ebru, which is one of the traditional Turkish arts. Kiter, brush technique, earth paints. As you can see in the picture, the Ebru is transferred to nail wood. One of the important parts of the nail, the bopper, is processed on the lathe. The nail is measured and placed in the place to be blown. Nail is lubricated with special almond oil to make the sound more beautiful and smoother.